Hello, my darlings, and welcome to my corner of YouTube land. Today is episode 12. 12? 1 dozen? Um, I was just listening to Florence and the Machine, so I don't know, I want to go out and protest or something. like she what's the word? Awakens my inner feminine rage or something. My husband calls it my feminine rage, but she awakens something in me that makes me want to go fight the patriarchy. I love her music. Anyway, so I'm a little bit verklempt, I guess. We're planning next month's projects today, so we're gonna take a look at what we could possibly do, things that are ready to be done, and then next week, of course, will be when we've decided what we're doing. This is kind of like a dress rehearsal of what could be, and we're gonna figure out if there are problems before we go to production. But first, we have some finished objects. I'm gonna skip this one and go to something else. For the first one, this is the first finished triangle. Remember, we're doing these? Have you forgotten? This is my quest to have a triangle knit on the bias. Here's our bias. Here's our cast on edge and our bind off edge right here. Okay. Now we got a pretty symmetrical. So this has not been blocked. I'm not blocking these until I have them both done because I want to be able to do some math. Because my main goal in doing these is that I want them to be able to make a one skein shawlette. Maybe. And this isn't going to get me there because this is only 220 yards of worsted. But I'm hoping that when I block this and I'm able to manipulate it, because this is superwash wool, when I'm able to manipulate it, I can take some measurements and compare that to what other triangles I end up with, and work out some math and see which one we think will. Why do I always use we? You're not even here. I'm the only one here doing this, but I still say we. What was I talking about? When I'm hoping to at least complete 2, and I already have what I'm going to do for the other one planned and ready. When I have them both done and I'm blocking them and I can see how much leeway I have, is that the right word, in distorting them while keeping the triangle shape, is when I'm going to decide which one we're actually going to try on a skein of fingering. And I haven't picked that skein yet. That's something we're going to have to do. We're going to have to pick out which skein is going to be our test. What do you call the monkeys? The monkeys that you that you experiment on. Don't you call them something kind of derogatory? Guinea pig? Is that what I'm thinking of? Guinea pig is somehow derogatory for experimental monkey. What? Oh my God. Anyway, we'll have to pick our guinea pig fingering skein when we finish the other one. But that's on hold for right now because I'm doing a test knit. And the test knit is garter stitch on the bias, and that is done in a different way, and I don't want to do this because then I'm bound to screw one of them up. So when I'm doing something in a way, like since I'm already doing something bias in garter, I don't want to work a second project bias in garter that is done a different way because it'll mess my brain up. And I don't want to do this. So like when I'm doing these, I don't also want to do a top down that is this if it's not done the same way. Does that make sense? Because then my brain gets into the, because I rely heavily on the my muscle memory to tell me what I'm doing. So if it's too similar, then I will mess them both up trying to combine them. So I'm not sure why you needed that explanation, but there you go. So this is our finished, this is my original design. I still haven't named it. I'm very bad with names. Like, do you remember there was a commercial, I think it was Geico, with Stifler's mom, and Am I Dating Myself by Saying Stifler's Mom? Where she's like naming puppies, and she's like Snake Finder, and what you call the other one, like Freeway or so. I don't. That's how I feel about naming things. I'm very bad about it. Like when I have my kittens that I foster, I don't even name them, and when I do, I name them food. Like my 1 year that I was fostering, one of the rescues gave me a batch of Panloot kittens, so that shut me down for the rest of that season and half the next season. I don't want to talk about that because that made me very angry because I said, don't send me sick cats. And they said, these cats aren't sick. And I was like, oh, right. But those ones I had named Cheesesteak and Gumdrop. And they had extra toes. Gumdrop later died. Not here, though. And not of Panluke. And then my other one was Quesadilla and Tiramisu. So I was hoping with those names I would know, like, because then the groups on Facebook, they say who's getting adopted. They'll like post pictures of who got adopted today. And if I don't name them, because usually I let the next foster place name them because I only have them till they're weaned and then they go off it. So I don't see much of their personality. So like I let the next people name them because they're the ones that are going to play with them. You know, they get to have all the fun stuff. They get to play with them and stuff. And I have to keep them alive. So I usually let them name them because they'll have a better idea of their personality. But that 1 year where I got to name 4 of them after food was hilarious. Because it was funny. Like, I named one Meatball. No, Gumdrop. I was going to name him Meatball, but then I named him Gumdrop. And cheesesteak. Oh, it's so funny. Everyone was like, what? And I was like, whatever. So anyway, we name our dogs after sci-fi characters. And so I kept that tradition with my foster dogs. So like I named one Henry Jones and Evie from V for Vendetta, Evie. And my dog's name is Ripley from Lieutenant Ripley from Aliens. And then Deckard is from Blade Runner. And well, Lola already had her name when we got her, and I didn't want to rename her because all she knew was her name, so we just don't really count her. But then one of my fosters, he had fangs and he was always smiling, so I called him Dracula. And mostly I just called him Buddy. I go, hey Buddy, or like pretty girl or whatever. I just let them name them like whatever they think. But if I name them, I'm naming them sci-fi characters. That was a nice sidebar. Anyway, I'm trying to remember all of the, I thought I would remember everything about this shawl, but I don't. Okay, so, this is my I don't know why I do that. I think it's because when I was little, my mother always accused me of being selfish and that I would use the word I too often, so I try to not use the word I. I try to use we and us and, whatever, because I don't know why that matters. This is oh crap. Hold on. Let's turn that off. Okay. I had the Mandalorian little doodaloo thing, but my dog doesn't like things that are beeps and weird noises, so every time it would go doodaloo, she would run out of the room. So I had to switch my notification to, like, I went through like so many notifications that she'd come in the room and I'd put the notification on and she ran out of the room. And I'm like, oh my God. So the hay was fine for a while, only now it's not fine, so I don't know what to do with her. Anyway, this is this is a triangular top-down one skein shawl with a old Shale edging. I did this one a little differently. Here's the thing. The yardage on this is less than my sock yarns that we've been dyeing. Crap. I forget my sock yarns are, I think, 400 and something. Let me see if I wrote it down in any of my... Hold on, let me see if I might have. No, I don't want to go to my queue. I want to go to my projects. Let me see if I wrote it down in here. 462 yards. Okay. Now this that I used has 435. So 462, 435. That's almost, what, 30 yards different? Do that math for me. Is that like 30 yards different? Okay, so here's the thing. Because I was going off the, when I did the old Shale on this one, remember? Worked till 40, did the old Shale. Remember, and then I took it apart. So when I did the same thing here. I worked till 40 grams, started the old Shale. Now this one, I don't remember. But anyway, had we had the same amount of yardage, I could have gotten 8 Shale repeats in this. I did not. I got 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I probably could have got 7, but then I might have only been able to do like one garter ridge before the bind off. And I know from this one that I need at least 2 rows. I'm just smacking everything around. We need 2 rows of garter ridges before the bind off to keep this from curling, right? We know that because this is what this proved. Now normally on my lace, oh my God, look, I actually have them here this time. My lace ones, I do 3 garter ridges before the bind off, which you're not going to be able to count probably, but there are 3 garter ridges before the bind off. I really like, even though I like even numbers, I like the 3. I think the 3 plus the bind off gives the prettiest edge. It's not too big, it's not too small. I think it's the perfect edge. So number 1, I'm going to redo the green one and give it 1 more garter ridge and then bind off again. And this one, because the yardage is so much different, this again does not help me at all with my yarn, unless I'm going to, now her and I use the same bases, so I also use this cashmere base, so it will help me here. So what I'm thinking of doing is, this is actually good, because now I don't have to do this in my cashmere base, because I know we have the same base. So I know that my cashmere base is whatever her cashmere base is. So I'm going to try, I'm going to undo this again. I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to do 1 more row. I have to recount because I think I did 4 rows, and then I think I did 4, and then I got to go back over my notes to see if I can do 1 more. Because what I'm thinking of is I can do 3 rows of this repeat, and then on the 4th row, that will give me a purl ridge. So if I only have enough for 2 purl ridges, I can do that in this, because I had a lot left over in this one. So I probably could have got at least 1 more row. I don't think I could have got 2 more rows, but I probably could have got one more row. So I don't know if that's going to help if my last row, if I can untink this to my last row and do a purl row as the last, do 1 more repeat. I have it all written down, don't worry about it. Suffice to say, I'm going to do 1 more pattern on the last row. I'm going to make a garter ridge, and then this might give me a 2 garter ridge, might give me 3, I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to see what happens, and then the bind off. But I do have all this written down, so I know how much I need for the bind off. So the bind off will be a few more stitches, but that's easy enough to make sure I have that worked out. However, I'm not so sure I'm going to do that right now. I might see where the end of this month has us, because this is a short month. But I was thinking, because I love this shawl so much, you guys, and I have not cut off the end yet, and I was sitting here trying to figure out why I haven't cut the end off, and it's because I want to give it 3 ridges on the bottom. 2 will work, but I want to have 3. So I am going to do that too. I might take a weekend and do both of these, because that's all it's going to take me. It shouldn't take me more than a weekend, one of the weekend days, Saturday or Sunday, to do those. So probably won't happen this week because I got a lot to do, but maybe, I don't know. What else am I doing? Oh, I did, I started my cascade top, but I didn't bring it in here because I only have the strap, just the strap done. I haven't even started the rest of it. So let's look at our dye project. So I had to frog a bunch of this because I didn't really make a mistake. What happened was, we know I'm a giant perfectionist, right? And I can't handle my projects not being perfect. So on one of these sides that have the yarn over, there I put a yarn over to see if I get more stretch. Remember, because I wasn't too impressed with the stretch I got in the other one. So I'm doing yarn overs to see if we can get more stretch when we block. I'm going to show you how ridiculous I am. So in between here, like one of these little threads that you can't even see. So one of those was split. Like I had somehow split it when I made the knit, or maybe when I don't know. I don't know how it happened, but there was a split and I was mad. So I couldn't tink down because it was the second one. It was the second stitch in. And so I had to actually frog like 10 rows. So I don't know if I've made any progress on this at all from last time. I did put on bigger needles though, so maybe that might do something. Anyway, I don't know. I don't remember how much of this I showed you last time. But you can still see, oh, that, look at that, like went in a row. Do you see that? That went in a row. The black, red, black, red. That repeated instead of mirroring. So we got something, that's something new that we haven't seen before. I like that row. Black, look, it starts with the black, red, black, red, black, red, black. That's a complete, oh my gosh, look, because it starts with the black. This is impossible. So it starts with the black and ends over here with the red. So it repeated and then alternated and mirrored. So we got a bunch of stuff happening there. But we still also have the little bits of the stuff I like. The where the red comes over the black. Not too much of it though. I think you see more of that in the green one. Can't really. That's attractive. Not as much of that parts, the parts that I like. A lot more pooling in this one. Now I'm curious to see in April when we do it if the purling is going to be, because these will be different colors. These might not be the same red, because remember there's two stripes of red. So if this is one stripe and this is one stripe and then this is the other stripe and the other stripe, well, we have 4 different pools of color right in there. I don't know. I don't know, because those could be opposite. I don't know. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. I guess we'll see in April. Okay, anyway, I don't know how far into this. I mean, I just caught up last night to where I was before I frogged, so this is taking forever. But this is going to be my night knitting now until the top part of my top is done, and then that ribbing will become my night knitting, and this will become my second project. So this should be finished next time. Actually, the top might be finished next time. I don't know. Oh, anyway, I am finally doing that test knit. I'm not going to tell you anything about the test knit just because it's not available yet, and I don't know when she's actually going to release since I'm testing early, but I figured I would show you. You can keep up with my progress, and then when it's finished and then when it's available, I'll give you all that info. No, these are actually two different colors. It's a fading, kind of like a fade. Kind of, but it's like every other row, so it's not really a fade. But then you do start up on the other color. But I chose these two colors. These are from Sheepyshire, and they are like opposites of each other. So this is a dark green with light green in it, and this is the light green with some of the dark green in it. And one is called Lichen, and one is called Gareth. I'm not sure. It's in my project notes. Anyway, this is my work in the morning. This is my one that I work on in the morning. I'm using my stoppers because I for sure do not want this to come off. But yeah, it's a thin, I'm assuming asymmetrical, even though I haven't bothered to, yeah, asymmetrical, a little bit longer. I mean, I just started it 2 days ago, so there's not much to show on that one. So that's everything that we're working on currently. Where did this come from? Hold on. This came from my dye project. I didn't put it back on. I'm so trying to get used to working on these because that's how I keep messing up, is I keep dropping my beginning stitches. Okay. Planning March. I have this, my handy dandy whiteboard for you. Man, I thought I was being so smart doing it this way that I wouldn't have this to hold on to. I think I'm gonna just take this off because I don't have a table to put on, and that only works if I'm doing it this way, which I like. I guess I could do, but if I just take it off like the whole way, then like, oh, it's got a washer on there that the cat will probably eat. My cat eats everything. His thing right now is tape. Any type of sticky tape. He has to eat it. And, oh yeah. I'm convinced he's going to kill himself, but he's having a good time, so. Why didn't I think to do this earlier? Of course I dropped one on the floor. I don't know why I didn't think to take this off earlier. It's a giant pain. Okay. Oh, it's right there. Okay. So, where are we at? Spring. Oh, I forgot. I can't get any closer because my roll chair. Oh, I hate this thing. So, where are we at? We're in February. February, we didn't have a project, remember? So now March. So let's go over what we talked about last time. We got our Laughing Cat ×2. Mitchell's ×2. We were thinking about doing a 2-color brioche and then the Mad Tosh that I hate. And redoing the Yonda window. So February. I mean March. March, I actually have something that I wanted to do, and that is Changing Staircase by Dragon Horde Designs. I've seen that shawl, and I didn't know it was the Dragon Horde Yarn people, or person. I watch her on YouTube. Anyway, a couple years ago, I saw someone have her changing staircase in this yarn, which is Honey Girl Farms, and this is called Slytherins Are Brave Too. And I put it in my favorites, and the more I looked at it and the more I thought about it, I was like, I need to have this. So I don't usually do that, but I did, and I bought this. And so, like, I liked it so much, I was like, I literally need to have that. Because you know how I am with green, right? So green. So what is it this? No, something is it the window? Is it that? Oh, is it that window? Something's reflecting in my glasses and it's driving me crazy. Anyway, I'm trying to like Stevie Wonder it over here so you can't see it. Like, I'm trying to figure out where it is so you don't see it. Anyway, ignore it, please, if you do see it. Pretend it's not there. So, that's the Slytherin. The Slytherins Are Brave Too. So I think it's time I make this. I'm hoping I will have time to make this this month. I think I picked March because of St. Patrick's Day and green. I guess, I'm not sure. We certainly don't have to get it done next month, but it is something I would like to get done. Especially I got green tops. I got, I like green, so I was thinking we could finally make that. That would be fun to make. We have tops. We have this top that is next on my list, and this is Audine Wools from Knit Crate. This is sleek base. It is merino, alpaca, and silk. So I was right. It was just all three of them. Now this is listed as a worsted, but as I was working it up, because remember I was going to make Lola's sweater, I feel like it's more like a DK. So instead, because I don't make her sweaters in DK, I'm just going to make this a DK top. I'm going to use the DK stitch counts and needles for this top for me. So this will be our top for next month. We also have this Brianna. Remember, this is Brianna. This is Honey Girl Farms too, isn't it? So I decided that I do want to make this out of my lace pattern, and I think it's perfect for spring. It is so, the colors look a little bit, actually what they are, toned down now. Although that's not really a white, it's really like the base is kind of like a lavendery color. So that's not white you're seeing. It's like a bluey, lavendery. I absolutely love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. I want to make this on my triangle lace shawl. I want to make this on that. I don't know if we'll have time though. So what I also want to do is I found this. This may or may not look familiar to you, but it did to me. Because it's part of this. So that was a loud one. Sorry about that. So remember if you watched my very first episode, I talked about this is the first all about that brioche that I made. This is the very first one. Remember I said I wasn't paying attention and I I made the cast on at the point of the shawl. Do you see a little of that right there? That is my end. That is the end of my bind off being sewn in at the tip of my shawl, which I don't know if I can explain to you in words how much this distresses me, but since you're probably a knitter too, I bet you can imagine that it ruined the tip of my shawl. So then I found this and I was like, oh my God, like look how much I had left over. Why didn't I just use it up? Because you know what I did for this one? I used it all up. So I'd like to take off the bind off and use up all this and make sure I do the bind off right this time. Again, I don't know if this is the month we're going to get to it, but this is going to go on my list of things like this and this for redos, maybe on the weekends, because like I said, I don't like to do, okay, because I work so hard all day, like this is really like a like a full-time job. Like I work from the moment I get up, I'm knitting on one project until my husband gets done with work, and then I start on my second project and I work on that until it's time to go to bed, and then I come in here and I work on another project until I'm sleepy, or maybe all night if I can't sleep. So that's my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So on Saturdays and Sundays, I don't really want to, well, first of all, my husband's not working, so if we're in a snowstorm like we are right now, we're going to be stuck inside and probably binge watching shows. And at that point, I don't want to work on my test knit. I'm not going to be able to focus on my test knit. Also, I've worked on my test knit like at least 8 hours a day for 5 days that week. So, okay, I need a break on the weekends. So I'm thinking the weekends are going to be when I do these things. So I'll do this and that one probably this weekend, and then next weekend maybe I'll do the brioche, and then I'm thinking too I could start something like this that only gets weekend work. So we might be able, I mean they aren't always, like I said before in January, my projects aren't always, I just scratched myself again. I gotta stop scratching myself because I have that thing where you scratch, I forget what it's called, when you scratch yourself and then you're left with like red marks on your body forever. Like I did it with my headband. See, this headband's leaving red marks on me. Anyway, usually I welt up. Like I will have welts on me from scratching. I'm thinking that's the way I can get this done. If I start putting projects in on my weekends, might help me get more work done than just the stuff I want to do. But I also don't know if that's going to take away from the work I'm doing during the week. But I don't think so, because on the weekend, this past weekend, I was looking at like my dye project, Shawl, and I'm like, I don't even want to touch that today. I don't even want to touch it. So it might break up the monotony a little bit, and then on the weekdays I'll want to work on that stuff, and then on the weekends I can work on smaller projects, more fun projects. And I think that's something I'm going to start scheduling for, so we'll have some weekends. And then what I can do for my planners is actually mark down my weekends for what we're doing Sunday and Saturday, and then also my weekly planner. My Saturdays and Sundays are these two little ones here. So I'm going to try scheduling in stuff like that and see if that works better. Because I've been feeling burnt out this month. I think after getting so much done in December, and then January really plugging along. Like, I keep forgetting that I need to have little stupid projects that I want to do. Like when I took a weekend and did all these headbands that I'm only like breaking out one at a time to show you. So I think that's what we're going to do this month. I'm going to schedule things a little bit different, but I do have one more consideration for our big project in March. If we want to do one, which I would like to do one. I did not like not having a big one this month, but I also have my test knit. So, I'm not sure if I want to do a knit along right away, because I don't know how long this test knit is going to take me. And since I have like 2 more weeks to see, we'll see how long this test knit's going to take me. Now, if you watch Piece for Piece Crafting with Michael, he wants to do a knit along for his birthday next month, I think. Yeah, March, I think, that he was thinking of having go for like 6 weeks or something. I'm not sure he's worked out all the details yet, and I haven't gone into, I think he has a Ravelry group, but I haven't gone on yet to see. But he wants to do a West Knits with, Adam West collaborated with another designer whose name completely escapes me because I had never heard of, I believe it's a woman. I had never heard of her before. And I apologize if I'm misgendering. But I had never heard the name before. And I cannot, for the life of me, recall what it is. But they collaborated. So they collaborated on a shawl design, and that's what he wants to do for his birthday. And he said he wanted to do a knit along for his birthday, and so you pick a West or this other designer, I guess. So there is a West. Oh my gosh, and I totally didn't write it down either. There is a West Knits that I actually... There are 2 of his that I want to do. And one is the painting bricks that I want to dye my own dark rainbows for and do that. But there's also this one that has Slumber Shawl, which is an Aran weight. It takes 4 It takes 4 whatchamacallits, in case of this. If you're at all a fan, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's a top-down triangle with old Shale, right? And I was thinking, because it's Aran weight and takes 4 skeins, I was thinking of using some Malabrigo that I made the tops out of. Because I was thinking of doing these anyway. And when he said that he wanted to do a West knit along, I was like, oh, I have these that I want to do. So these are the 2 that I have decided that I want to make into that shawl. And then I have 2 left over. One is Anniversario and the other one is like Mars, I think. So they're both red, but I don't like them together. So I was thinking I would do 2 separate things with those. So since I didn't want to use all of these in a night shift, I know I had considered doing that. The green and the red made me rethink that, because the last night shift that I attempted, the very first one I attempted, I had some red and green and it looked very, very Christmassy, and I did not like it. So I don't like to use red and green in a project together. So I'm thinking of these 2 colors. This is Cucumber and I think Pines, maybe. And this is Lotus and Chris. And yes, I bought this because it's spelled like my name. And these are really cool because they're almost the opposite. Like, they're almost the colors are like, some of this lotus is in here. I don't know if you can tell because it's not the best light. But I don't know how great the contrast will be in these two. Because you can see in here, there's pretty much, they are very, very almost alternating. But I love these two colors together. I think they are just, and this one is important to me because my husband bought these two for me for my birthday one year. And then the fact that this one is my name is like important to me too. So I thought these two together, and these two together, because I love green. The only problem, as you can see, is this is a different skein, and right. But I don't know how they're going to break up if I'm going to use two. I'm using 4 skeins, but they'll be 2 colored. So I'm not exactly sure. I haven't bought the pattern, so I haven't looked at it. So I'm not quite sure where the color changes are going to be. But I figured I'd start with the light and work into the dark. And on the other one, I haven't even decided which one will go first. Probably the lotus. So this is like I said before, I would have to take these apart, put them into hanks, soak them, weight them so the kinks come out. And they're both complete except for like one of these. Well, these usually don't pull out after I've worn them. They're just stuck. They won't come out. And then, I mean, you only lose a little bit of one because it's like that much of one that I wouldn't even bother with. So I guess it's all a question of if I want to. I've never actually done a knit along, so I've not like where you. I guess I have kind of done them, but I've never really participated all that much. Like I do them on my own, just along with other people, but I don't like post stuff. Like I don't chit chat or whatever. So I'm trying to decide. I'd probably do the light one first and then the dark, because I know they're going to be, in between colors, so you probably won't notice. But I guess I'm trying to decide if it's worth the headache of having to put those back into hanks, wash them, hang them, let them dry, then cake them up. Like I don't know, but I'm also trying to figure, I'm probably still going to be working on that test knit, which at that point I should be sailing through because it's a garter, and even as it gets bigger, because that uses the 2 cakes, that shouldn't be that hard. That's also something that is not garter that I can work on, and I'm like wondering what else am I going to have that's be able to work on, that's not going to distract me from my test knit and mess that up in my head. So that's a possibility. So I might just bite the bullet and rehank those 4 colors anyway, because I can't see me not liking that shawl, because hello. And I already know the pattern. Hello? Like, I'm looking at it like, do I even need to buy this? Because, other than the spine, I'm pretty sure, however he's doing the spine and the edges, I could tell you what the rest of that pattern is. Because it's right here. Well, he puts... Never mind. But I know. He puts garter ridges in his. Anyway, I really like the look of that shawl. It's very, I don't want to use the word plain, because I don't mean plain as an insult, because I like plain. I like simple, classy, stuff like that to me is, it doesn't need all the bells and whistles. Do you know what I mean? And I kind of like that he can do both, that he can do crazy, geometrical, weird stuff that I'm like, no thanks. And that he can do some beautiful old Shale and I'm in, So I think that's the mark of a good designer. He certainly puts his own spin on things. But I've also never made a shawl that big. I don't think my night shift is that big. But 4 full skeins of Malabrigo is going to be a big shawl. And I'm not looking forward to that bind off, because it's going to be a lot of stitches. And that is is that a triangle or is it more like a crescent? I'm not even sure, because I haven't looked at the pattern. Anyway, I might just do it just in case. I'd just rather be ready for it than not. But probably next week, by the end of the month, I will probably have a better idea of what I want to do for the following month, because I'm going to know where I'm at with my test knit, because my test knit has to take precedent over everything else. That has to be number one, more important than everything. I just want this made so bad, which is weird because this is not at all. I just want to wear it with an all black outfit and be like, look how springy I am. I can be soft and feminine and still wear all black. Right? But it looks nice with black, I think. I think it's beautiful. Anyway, one more thing to talk about. Right? March dye project, guys. I might have made a decision. So I know last time I said I was thinking about blue, because I don't do blue. I'm not a fan of blue. So much like this, I wanted to do black, blue, and gray. Pretty much like this skein. But I thought of something else that actually, it's not in here, but I was kind of inspired by Knit Crate's last month's subscription called Haze. I was a little bit inspired by those colors, and I'm thinking of going a completely different way for March's dye project, like a way I completely did not see myself ever dyeing, ever, okay? This is a big deal. The other big deal is that none of the colors I want to use have been swatched. Right? Are you intrigued? Right? So that means that before our dye day for March, which is going to be March 1st, we get no leeway. We got no, it's March 1st. Because first Monday of the month is our dye day. So March 1st is our dye day. That means, crap. So 19, 26. So that means if I get everything done, these two things done this weekend, then next weekend, the 27th, 28th, that's not going to work. Okay, so the Monday before that, the February, did I just say February wrong? February. The 22nd, then, so in 2 days. I would have to start, so next week then I would have to start I'm pointing to where my swatches are kept in here. So I would have to swatch for those colors next week. Or just go with blue, gray, and black. So I guess that's what I'm gonna have to decide this weekend, is if I'm going to go with the blue, black, and gray, or if I'm going to go with something else. I mean, I can still do those colors I'm thinking of, but I'm thinking of what is going to have the best contrast, because that's why we're doing this whole thing, is for the contrast, is to see the contrast between where the colors go, right? Which is why I wanted to do black and another color. And I think black and gray are enough of a contrast, and if I pick the right color blue, I just talked myself into blue, didn't I? I did. You're welcome. Should we do yellow instead of gray? It'll be black, blue, and something. I've decided, yeah. I need to make it, I mean, I still have that idea. And maybe we'll do it later. You know what I'm thinking we'll do it? When we'll do it on the yak, because that yak has a silvery base. And so I'm thinking those colors I picked might go very well on a base that's already like a silvery color. I think I just talked myself into that. And that one isn't even coming till, oh my God, you guys have to wait so long for that. I'm not even kidding. Okay, wait, must be over here. I have to start like earmarking. What do you call, when you fold the things down? I'm gonna have to start folding. I never do that in books because I don't like to mess up books. I absolutely hate to do that. Okay, so Die Projects 2021. BFL. The yak isn't till October. So you're gonna have to wait till October to see that. You better hope I don't die. You're gonna have to wait till October to see what I do for that one, because that's when I got the yak scheduled for. Because that base is like a gray. It's like, it's not the creamy base, it's a gray base. I don't know why. Don't know why. That's how it came. Unless we do September, we could do September, because that our different bases start in September. So maybe if I'm nice. That depends on if I want October to be Halloween-y, which I guess it'll depend on how much I'm feeling Halloween that year, because this year I wasn't feeling Halloween at all. Anyway, what's next week? End of month, beginning of month. So next week we'll see everything I was able to finish this month and everything we're planning for next month, which I'll be in a better position for next week to know that, because I got to see how far I get with this. So I'm going to say that this will be redone. I'm going to redo this, redo this. Those are both be redone. I'm wondering if this will be redone too. I wonder how much I'll get done that weekend. We'll see. But those two for sure, because that's one day. That's one day. That's not even, you know what I'm thinking? Saturday, if I get this ready now for Saturday, I gotta think if I got like an open set of, if I got open needles. because these are all on the same needles. So I gotta find an opposite of needles because all my shawls are like on this. No, my new one's not. My new one's not, so I should have. So that's the only one that's on it right now. So I should have a 3-5 because I have at least, I have 2 fixed and then 2 3-5 tips for my Chow Goose. So I have 4. So that's the only one. So one is on a project. So there are 2 other ones. So good. I think I'm gonna get this up and do this Saturday because then Sunday these will have erased this from my brain, and then I can go back to work Monday on my test knit. That works out perfectly. Oh my god. Don't you love it when that happens? When that works out perfectly like that? I didn't have any squishy mail for you today. Sorry. I didn't buy anything at the virtual festival. They're having another one, I think this weekend. Yeah, 20, whatever. Look it up. I don't know who's on it because I'm not paying attention. But I'll link to their Facebook. I don't think I posted anything on Instagram for them. But yeah, next week we'll have this nailed down to see what we're doing. See how far I got. Those should be done. I'm wondering if either my top or my dye projects will be done next week. Because I'm still going to have a couple days to finish whatever I don't finish. Because I probably will work through the weekend on those days. But see, once everything's done, then I have more time to devote to a single project, and then it'll be done. So then I'll just have, right now I just have the top and the dye project. So those will be done by the end of the month for sure. I'm not sure if they'll be done by the next episode. Anyway, I think that's it. So, let me know if you're doing the piece for piece, West knit along, for his birthday. And, I'm going to go through and see if there's anything else I might want to put on for my weekend. I'm wondering how many to schedule there, or if I should just keep a list. So like on deck, like, because all the ones in this one are big projects on deck. So maybe I should clean out one and make one for little projects on. Well, I actually have a lot of these that are on deck, so they're mostly already caked up because I was going to do them with something and then I didn't like it, so I decided to not do that. So I'm exhausted after this episode. Oh my goodness. Tired. I need a nap. What do you guys think about the Malabrigo? Should I do the Malabrigo for the West knits? I don't know. The only worsted weight shawl I have is my night shift, and it's very heavy. But I also should have gone up a needle size when I made that one. I think I just need to block it more aggressively to thin it out a little bit. And I have to redo the bind off. There's so many things I have to redo. Redo that bind off too. But anyway, I'm going to redo these ones because I'll be there's still time to wear them. And I want to get them done. Then they can be done and gone forever. And I won't have this sitting in my stash taking up room. I'm really excited. I'm like, I just found this and I was like, what? You didn't finish it? Like, duh. Why didn't you just use probably because I think in the thing she doesn't tell you to. But I did. That's also because this one had more yardage than this one, so I wanted to get as much out of it as possible. The light's really good on my end. This is really true to color. You can see it's actually purple and not blue. Look at that gorgeous purple. Okay. I'm going to say goodbye, guys. It's been wonderful talking with you again and having you here to help me plan out my months and share with my projects. And so if you want to leave me any comments down below, I will read them and reply. And if you have any, if you think I should do the green west or the lotus and the Chris for the west, or anything else. Have you done the changing staircase? I've never done it. I don't think I've even looked at it. I'm pretty sure it's a free pattern. I'm not sure. But I haven't even looked at it. The only time I saw it was made up on this, and I was like, I need to have that. Like, if that was for sale, I would have bought it. Like, if that shawl was for sale, I would have bought it. But making it yourself, next best thing. Anyway, I'm hoping we can get to this. Because if I have a giant West knit along, and my test knit, and my dye projects, might not have time for this. This might be my first weekend. There you go. This might be the first one, and then this might go in for a second one. So that's certainly what's a possibility. There we go. I was thinking an opportunity, and I'm like, opportunity is not the word you're looking for. Possibility. There we go. Jeez. Anyway, I hope you're all safe in this storm, this winter storm, even though today's Wednesday and you'll be seeing this Friday. So hopefully your snow has melted, Texas, and your power's back. I can't believe you guys are without power. That's absolutely... I have lived in Ohio for almost my whole life. Since I was like in first grade, I have been stuck here and I hate it here. This is the worst place I have ever lived. And I've been to Texas. No, that was worse. I would not live in Texas. I'd live here before I'd live in Texas. I did not like the sky in Texas. Like, everything's flat. We were near Galveston. So it was cool. I got to ride horses on the beach. That was really fun. But there were man-o-war everywhere, and it was terrifying. But Galveston, right outside of Houston, because we flew into Houston, they had a big statue of George Bush in their airport. It was like, why is there a president in the airport? And I guess they named the airport after, I don't know, whatever. But it was shocking to me to see whatchamacallit, a statue of a president at an airport. That just seemed a weird place to have a statue of a president, I guess. Because, I mean, and I live down the street by one of the president's houses. And we don't have any statues of him anywhere in town. But, right? Anyway, I did sing there in high school. We went and sang our choir in there for Christmas or something. I don't remember. But we have snow. We got a lot of snow. Not too much to handle at all. Like they gave the kids a snow day, but I'm not even sure if they're in school or not. Because I don't have kids. I don't have to know that. But I know there was a school day because they said so. But I can't imagine being without heat in the middle of something like this, and you guys have to be freezing your butts off. And I'm really sorry that's happening. That's really terrible. So hopefully by the time this comes out on Friday, that will all have melted and it'll be back up to like 90 degrees like you guys like to be. It is hot there. It is hot there. And the sky, like, I'm sure not all of Texas is the same because I was only in that one part. But I did not see one cowboy, first of all. I did not see any wild horses running around. I saw flat earth and then sky. And it was so like, I wonder if just because we were not in the city, but it felt like I don't think I've been rural that wasn't like Ohio or Pennsylvania, because we're like mountains and trees and there's no flat plain where you just see land and then sky. And so it felt like oppressive, like the sky was pressing down on me and I couldn't breathe. It was really terrible. I did not like Texas at all. I have no plan to go back there. Thank you very much. Plus, there's some people I don't like that live there, so I have no intention of going there. But the people were okay. I don't think we ran into anybody that was mean or anything. I'm not sure we saw a lot of people at all because we were visiting some not quite family members. Anyway, no, I got on that tangent. Texas. Anyway, not what I expected it to be. Definitely not my favorite place, though, to be honest with you. If I'm going to pick a beach, it's going to be Cape Cod because it's the most gorgeous beach I've ever seen in my life. That's probably my favorite beach. Not that I've seen that many, but I've seen like the Carolinas, I've seen Florida, I've seen Texas. But, you know, unless I'm going to see like the Bahamas or, I don't know, tropical islands, beaches, then it's probably, my favorite's probably going to be my home, Cape Cod. So, I don't know. That's what I'm sticking with. I did like Seattle, though. I did like the inlet part of, I'm not sure that there, when I was there, I never went to a beach. I'm sure there was a beach, but we had like the inlet lake part where there were like boats and stuff. But we never went to the beach part of it. I'm sure there was a beach, but we never went there. Sidebar. Anyway, I've talked about everything. I have nothing else to talk about, and I don't want to talk about the places I've traveled to because we're snowed in right now like everybody else. Which is why it's so bright in here, because the sun is shining. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off, and I hope you have a wonderful, warm weekend wherever you are. And I will see you next week. Bye.